the Most High's laws, commandments and statutes on more than one occasion. We were redeemed on more than one occasion. We were chastised on more than one occasion. But this is our last chastisement. And we are coming to the end. Because as you can see, Esau's kingdom, the Edomites' kingdom, is coming to an end. So, and we go back to verse 35. So in Baruch chapter 2 verse 5. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power. And they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. So when the Lord deals back the land, no more, no one, not a snail can stand up against us. Nothing, no nation, no power, nothing. Because then we will be given back our powers that we had at the beginning. Back in the days of King David and King Solomon. So, we're going to go to Baruch chapter 3, verse 8. So we read Baruch chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. Like I just said, we're still in our captivity. Where thou hast scattered us. Where the Most High has scattered us. So we are living amongst all the other nations. It's just that the majority of Israel is where? In the Americas and throughout the West Indies. And when I say in the Americas, I mean in North America and South America and throughout the West Indies. That's where the majority of our people are. That's where all the 12 tribes are. The 12 tribes are in the Americas today. And then the rest of us that belong to the different tribes of the 12 tribes are scattered throughout the world. But the majority of Israel is in the Americas today. South, North America and throughout the West Indies. So, we go back to verse 8. Baruch chapter 3 verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Most High our power. Hear, Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom. How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thy enemy's land? So how is it that we're in our enemy's land? That thou art waxen old in a strange country. Because that's what we're doing. We're just waxing old in these strange countries. We're not in our homeland. Because we can't go back there until that day. When judgment arrives for Esau and the 12 tribes and the other nations. Redemption comes at the same time for the 1/3 of Israel that's going to receive salvation. And for the rest of the nations that survive it, they're going to become servants to us. Verse 10. How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thy enemy's land, that thou art waxen old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead, that thou art counted with them that go down into the grave. Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom. For if thou hadst walked in the way of the Most High, thou should have dwelled in peace forever. So when you go back to Deuteronomy, well, the scriptures are a beautiful thing. Believe me, man. When you read these truths and they come out, it's just compelling. Absolutely compelling. So we go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, yeah, verse 1. This is what when Moses came down from the mount. This is what he told the children of Israel. He said, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High, thy power, to observe and to do all these commandments which I command thee this day, that the Most High, thy power, will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh, thy power. Alright, I'm not going to go through what the blessings are. And then if you jump to verse 15, Moses says this now. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So we were warned from the very beginning that if we follow the Lord's laws, commandments and statutes, all these blessings shall come on us and overtake us if we hearken to the voice of the Most High. And if we didn't hearken to the voice of the Most High, to follow his laws, commandments, statutes, then what does Moses says? He says, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So Baruch says here, this is Baruch chapter 3 verse 2. He says, for if thou hadst walked in the way of the Most High, thou shouldst have dwelt in peace forever. And so the reason why we're in this predicament today is because we did not walk in the voice of the Most High to follow his laws, commandments and statutes. Yeah? So we're going to jump to Baruch chapter 4, verse 4. Yeah? We're going to start with Baruch chapter 4, verse 4. So please listen carefully, because I'm going to read this right down to verse 37, to the last verse basically. But I'm going to start at verse 4. This is Baruch chapter 4. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to the Most High, are made known unto us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath. You were delivered unto your enemies. Now, I go back again. What nation of people was sold to their enemies? Yeah? Not for our destruction, but because we moved the Most High to wrath. Yet we were delivered unto our enemies. These people were. We went into slavery by ships. Our enemies came to us with a foreign tongue, a foreign language that we'd never heard before. And we went into slavery because of that, by ships. We were sold to other nations, to our enemies, because we did not follow the laws, commandments and statutes. This is why I say slavery was inevitable. So when you go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, and it talks about verse 15, but it shall come to pass, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 15, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Yeah? So let me just jump, I'm going to quickly just jump to verse 68. Yeah? And the Lord shall bring thee unto Egypt again with ships. Now what does the word Egypt signify? Bondage, slavery. How do we know that? We know that because that's what the Greeks called it. Yeah? When they'd never seen so many slaves before. We know that. Why? Also because it's in the scriptures. So if we go to Exodus, let's get this right. I think it's Exodus verse, where are we? Wait. Verse 20, no. Exodus. Hold on a minute, we're going to find this for you. Right, 68. Exodus. Right, yeah, sorry, I was in the right chapter. Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. Yeah? And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Alright? Out of the house of bondage. So, we go to chapter, where is it? So we're going to go to Exodus chapter 13, verse 3. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Most High brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out. This day came ye out in the mouth of Abib. Right? In the month of Abib. So that's to do with the Passover. Right? So it's showing you that the word Egypt is synonymous with what word? Bondage. Out of the house of bondage. Right? Tells us that in chapter 13, tells us that in chapter 20, Exodus chapter 20 as well. So when we go back to Deuteronomy chapter 68, chapter 28, verse 68, it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt is synonymous with the word bondage. It comes from the Greek words. The Greeks named the place Egypt, and that's what it meant, bondage, because it was a place where they never see so many slaves in their life. Hence why it's in the Bible, and it shows you Egypt is synonymous with the word bondage. So when the Most High says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way wherefore I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, which means no man shall free you. So there's only one nation of people on this planet Earth today where there's any recorded history that everyone knows about that was brought into slavery, into bondage by ships. And who were those? Those are those same people who are living in America today. So all of those people that they call African Americans and all those people living throughout the West Indies were all brought to that land on slave ships, as Moses had prophesied, because we stopped following the laws, commandments and statutes. So this is one of the other prophecies that we know who the children of Israel are, because no other nation has been brought into slavery by ships but us. So we know that. And the reason why we were brought into slavery by ships, the tribe of Benjamin and the tribe of Judah, African Americans, also known as Negroes and West Indians, the reason why is because the other 10 tribes were already over there. The other 10 tribes were already over there, from Haiti right throughout the Americas. They were already there in the Americas. So the scripture tells you that for you to know who the children of Israel are today, you have to go by prophecy, because genealogy is not going to get you nowhere. No one can trace genealogy back to Jacob and the 12 tribes. You have to go by prophecy. So when Moses prophesied this over 2,000, we're going back to 2,000, 3,500 years ago, when Moses prophesied this, he's talking about the children of Israel, right? Because the scriptures is written in parables, and the scriptures is a book of prophecies and laws, commandments and statutes. Yeah. So for you to identify the Israelites today, you have to look at the prophecies to find out what prophecies fit what nation of people. Now those so-called Gutterite Jews that are living in Israel today from Eastern Europe, from the Khazarian Empire, were never ever brought into slavery by ships. Everywhere they went was by train or airplanes. So this is how we know, apart from many, many other things, that they are not the real Jews. They ain't got a single drop of Jacob's blood in them. Yeah? So we read this again. So we go back to Baruch chapter 4. So it says, O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to the Most High are made known unto us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto your enemies. For you provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High. So you think about it. That's what we were doing. We were so, because we lived in Africa for 1500 years after the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD, when Emperor Vespasian besieged Jerusalem for 3 years, 1.1 million black Jews, people of color,